It was a beautiful summer day and a group of friends decided to go boating on the lake. They rented a small motorboat and set out on the calm waters, enjoying the warm sun and cool breeze. As they sailed further into the lake, they noticed that the water started to become choppy and rough. The wind picked up, and the sky grew dark, with clouds forming overhead. Suddenly, the boat's engine stopped, leaving the friends stranded in the middle of the lake. They tried to start the engine again, but it refused to turn over. As they looked around, they saw an island in the distance. It looked small and deserted, but they had no other choice but to try and reach it. They grabbed some oars and rowed towards the island, hoping to find shelter from the storm. As they approached the island, they saw that it was covered in a thick fog. They could barely see the trees and bushes on the shore. They landed on the beach and started to explore the island, looking for any signs of civilization. As they walked deeper into the island, they noticed that something was not right. The trees were twisted and gnarled, and the ground was covered in a thick layer of dead leaves. The air was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by the sound of their footsteps. Suddenly, they heard a faint whispering coming from the darkness. It sounded like someone was calling out their names. They followed the whispers, but they only led them deeper into the forest. As they walked, they heard the sound of a child's laughter. It was faint, but they could hear it clearly. They followed the sound, and it led them to an abandoned cabin in the woods. The door to the cabin was open, and they could see a small figure inside. As they approached, they saw that it was a child, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. The child's face was covered in dirt, and its eyes were dark and empty. Suddenly, the child's eyes flickered with an otherworldly light, and it started to speak in a strange language that they couldn't understand. They tried to run, but they found themselves surrounded by other ghostly children, all with the same empty eyes and twisted smiles. As they tried to escape, they saw that the island had changed. The trees were now taller and more twisted, and the sky had turned a deep shade of purple. The boat was nowhere to be seen, and they realized that they might be trapped on the island forever, at the mercy of the ghostly children who called it home. After some frantic running along the island's riverbank, they happened upon an old and leaky rowboat with no oars that was at the end of a rickety jetty. But luckily one of the members of the group was still holding on to an oar. They all frantically jumped into the small boat and started to row as best as they were able. With the storm waves battering the old leaky boat and water pouring in, they tried to bail the water out as fast as they could. With the rain and wind now smashing down upon them, one of them could just make out the shoreline. Filled with determination and fear, they somehow made it safely to the bank. Now all wet and trembling from the cold, they each looked at each other and swore they would never go boating again.